Have you guys ever been in the midst of getting ready and you're like minutes away from going out? So you're like, you know, outfit's on, hair's done, you're doing these final touches, then you like look in the mirror, you like look a little bit closer and your concealer is literally betraying you. And you're like, okay, no problem. Don't panic. I'm just gonna like add a little bit more, whether it's the concealer or the powder, and you're trying to buff it out and just make it look better than it did 5 seconds ago, but it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And now you're stuck with like dry, cakey looking concealer. And you've probably aged yourself a bit too. You have crepey under eyes now. Can you even fix it, or do you have to go now be self-conscious at whatever like event you're at, or do you have time to fix it? Either way, you are panicking. If that sounds like you and you want to know the tea on under eye concealer, please keep on watching. Oh, I think that under eye concealer and the concern with our under eyes has ruined us as a society. The one thing that I can say is every single concealer will crease because there's texture under the eye and it's just like, it is what it is. But it's more about what can you do to make sure that it like settles really well. A lot of people are relying on their concealer, their under eye concealer, to be the hydration aspect for them. Lack of under eye hydration can be a problem, as well as the wrong eye cream can be the problem. Too much of your eye cream can be a problem, and that's all going to affect how your concealer sits. I'm just going in right now with Serumizer eye, and then a lot of you had questions about this. I actually just went onto Amazon after and typed in under eye roller, and I did see things that looked like this that were really cheap. They were like $4 or something like that, just to apply it. And like, my concern isn't even about like actually using this, it's so I can actually get down into the product. That's what makes me really excited. I have this one too, and this is probably the one, this is the one I saw on Amazon, but this one actually like moves, like this rolly piece is rolling, where this one isn't. This is solid. This one has a lot of weight to it, but those are just little under eye rollers, but this one doesn't fit into the cream. And like, I feel like I'm going to be the first person to say this, but the skincare category and the skin prep category is extremely important, but it has been like everything else on the internet, thrown way out of proportion. So now there's too much going on, where too much product under your concealer is a bad thing. Delicate area, small area, there's movement here. It has to be treated a much different way. You're never gonna slap concealer on. And then, are you using too much product? If you're like me and you like to use, you know, a corrector shade and then the concealer shade, or you like to use 3, corrector, concealer, highlight, are you paying attention to how much you should be using? Are you applying it in the right area even? And then another thing too, this is more like a pro tip, and you have to watch your timing when you apply your makeup too. Like, how long are things sitting? How fast are you blending things? How quickly are things drying down? If you know that, and you're adding more product, you can control how you do your makeup a little bit more. My favorite concealer is the Studio Radiance concealer. My second favorite one is House Labs. And like, what are you using to gauge how a product works for you? Some people care about concealer, some people don't care about concealer. And then the opposite is almost true, right? So let's say you have the best formula in the world, your technique is amazing, you never run into like the issues I mentioned at the beginning. But if your color match is wrong, and it's such a tricky area to work with, if the color match is wrong, it enhances the texture of everything that's going on underneath, because it's not sitting on top of something that it should be sitting on top of. Love it, lock it in. And also, like I kind of had just said, concealer creasing is normal. One of the things that like genuinely hurts me, and it's something I experienced for a really long time interacting with other people, was like, I would put someone's concealer on, right? Like, show them with color corrector, without color corrector, with powder, without powder, and like really come up with the best under eye routine. For me, where I know what skin looks like and I'm used to seeing what skin looks like, it would be so beautiful, but like the person just could not get past the fact that their skin was skin. And I don't even blame anybody for feeling that way, because it's quite literally how we've been conditioned to read things, and like, we're constantly watching people in filters and edited photos and people that have so much work done, and like all of these factors that play into like why we view ourselves the way that we do. And people cannot get past texture under the eye, and it just like, you can watch the confidence just like drain from a person. It was the same thing too. It was really common with lips, where you would put a lipstick on, and because online you're so used to seeing lip filler, and then when you swipe the lipstick, it looks so seamless and smooth because the lip is being stretched by filler. People are not used to what the texture of skin looks like, and it's nuts because makeup artists love seeing the texture of skin. Like, it's part of the like allure of makeup, or why something can sit so nice, because it like gives a vibe, it gives a feel. When you're just a consumer and it's really just about like what you look like, there would be like the most beautiful lip color on someone, they'd be like, oh, this is so bad, it shows all my lines and like texture in my lip. But that's what it's supposed to look like. That's what it's supposed to look like. It's different if like the quality of the lipstick is cheap and garbage and it's like making you look really bad. But in terms of like putting on something hot, like a hydrating lip, like a luster glass lipstick, and seeing the texture in your lip is normal. Like, it's normal because it's just your lip texture. I say it all the time because my lips are real. My lips are entirely textured. Do I have a mustache? Like, those texture, like, that's never going away. These lines here, never going away. I've had them since I was so young. I was probably 5 years old with those lines. I don't even know where this conversation was going, but I'm sure you get the point. What are you doing to work with what you already have? Did you actually give your concealer enough time to like sit and move and do its thing? This is the Pro Set and Blur. And is your tool, when you're working with your product, doing what you need it to do? Does your concealer formula need powder? And if you are wanting powder, why do you need the powder? What are you using the powder for? When you have this all correct, you won't have to worry about what you look like 5 seconds before you go out the door. Everything will be performing how you need it to. And really what it comes down to is like intent of placement, intent of what you want the product to do for you. Because again, for years now, I would say solid, like, who cares about what happened in 2016, really? From 2020 till now, there's just been a very specific type of makeup content that has taken over. And I think it's really put everybody in a really, really, really big mess of self-image, overconsumption, thinking that thinking that you guys have like a lack of skill, which is not true. It's just that you have to find the skill that is meant to master your own face. Love it, lock it in. I love Studio Fix powder. I guess what you can ultimately ask yourself is the products that you're using, why did you buy them? And are you using them with intent, or are you just slapping your makeup on? You're just slapping your makeup on without thinking about it. That's why you're gonna run into just being about to walk out the door, realizing it's creasing, and going and slapping on more product, like in a touch-up fashion, like slapping more on and making the situation worse. I really like this. The strobe blushes on, and I really enjoy them. If you wanna start putting your makeup on with more intent and you like the sounds of that and you kind of like what I'm talking about, come join me over on my Skool community, skoolwithak.com/Miss Megan free school. Everybody over there just loves makeup, wants to be better at their makeup, wants to use what they have and utilize their collection and stop buying product and stop wasting money on product. So if that sounds like you, please go head over there. I would love to see you there. And lastly, just give yourself a little bit of grace. Everybody's too hard on each other. So the least you could do is be a little bit nicer to yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite concealer is. If anything in this video helped you, make sure you subscribe and turn on post notifications so you never miss a post. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram, all under the same name at Miss Megan Robinson. Don't be late for school. And until then, I'll see you next time.